Y'all, Fuzion here, back with another video. Today we're going to be reacting to some first take. We got Stephen A. Smith, Mad Dog, JJ Redick, and Molly. They're talking about this Lakers and Grizzlies game that happened yesterday. The Lakers won. AD had 30 points and 22 boards. We had a couple players with 17. It was Rui Hachimura and who's the other guy? Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, and Dennis Schroeder, as well as we had some scoring from Troy Brown with 13, and Vanderbilt had 8 boards, 5 points. So overall, just a great game for us. Again, they didn't have Ja. He was out. He was being dumb, of course. So I don't feel bad for him. But let's go ahead and get started. See what they have to say. And yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal. There were 2 points that we made when LeBron James got hurt against Dallas. The first point was strength of schedule. They had the easiest road going forward of any team in the NBA. Wins like this against a Memphis team without their star player, these are the games they got to win. The other point we made was the added pressure on Anthony Davis, and he's been spectacular. They're 3-2 since LeBron got hurt. Davis has played in 4 of those games. He's averaging 34 a game, 13 rebounds, almost 3 blocks a game. He's been awesome. They're in a position now.
So just to make a point real quick there, that is what AD is capable of. So it sucks when he doesn't perform, even if he doesn't give us 25 or 20 points. That is not what he does. So when you see him dropping 30 with 22 boards and 4 or 5 blocks, that is usually what AD does. Now you notice he only does this when LeBron isn't playing. More often than not, AD performs better when LeBron isn't on the court. You can take that how you want. I think it is just because it is forcing him to have to score the ball more. But I would prefer if LeBron James gave him the ball more. If AD was the scorer on the team. Now, of course, that's not all on LeBron or even on David Ham. It's on AD to continue to perform at this level. So hopefully we see that. They are 9th seed in the playoffs as of right now. I mean, in the conference. They're not quite at that playoffs yet, but they are officially in the play-ins. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
Now, just 2 games back of 6th place. They're in a position now to actually maybe get in the playoffs, which is something that seemed unimaginable at times this season. But I want to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. And
sorry to pause it again. Just right before he does get to the Memphis Grizzlies. Yesterday I did a video. It was another reaction video. It was Undisputed. They were talking about Ja Morant and his issues. That link will be in the description as well. But Ja Morant is going to be the reason that this Grizzlies team underperforms. And I think that as a team, as the Memphis Grizzlies team, I think they have to talk about what to do to move forward. And of course he apologized, but from what we heard yesterday, he flashed a gun even after this team meeting. So I think it makes sense that this Grizzlies team was to lose because they are all thrown off from this Ja Morant issue. And honestly, like, the team isn't that good without Ja Morant. If we are going to talk about it, I personally don't even think they would be in the playoffs without Ja Morant. And we see this happen quite often when they do play against teams that they are supposed to beat. For example, they were supposed to beat the Warriors team when Steph was hurt, but then they let Klay Thompson start going crazy. They were supposed to beat this Lakers team because well, the Lakers were, I think it was 11th or 10th seed there, and this is the 2nd seed Grizzlies. They shouldn't be losing like this. So I don't know. I just think that the Grizzlies need to hang it up. I don't see them being successful for the rest of this year. I see a lot of struggles. I see some sort of change happening this summer, especially since we did see that Ja is actually going to be suspended for a while. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and see what they got to say here.
What a disaster this season has turned into. I was as high on the Memphis Grizzlies, Stephen A., you know this, as anybody back in January. An 11-game win streak. January 18th, they beat Cleveland at home. They're 31-13 in second place in the Western Conference. They go out west. They lose 5 games in a row. Steven Adams gets hurt on that trip. They're 7-11 since he got hurt. Brandon Clark is out for the season with an Achilles tail, and we don't know exactly what the status is with Ja Morant going forward. And I look at the rest of the teams now. Sacramento's tied with them for second place. They moved all the way up to second place. Sacramento's playing excellent basketball, by the way. You look at the teams, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is Memphis beating those teams in the first round? It is a serious question.
I just said this. Memphis sucks without Ja Morant. Without Ja Morant, Memphis is not a playoff team.
How a team went from a title contender 2 months ago, legitimate title contender, to now a team that I'm questioning whether or not they can even get out of the first round. It's just been a free fall for this team. Yes, some of it has been injury, some of it has been poor play, and some of it has been distractions off the court. But they're in a much different position than they were 2 months ago.
100%. I think you're right on Memphis. I agree with you. I love the Western Conference playoffs. When you get there, you're going to have some you got great teams at the bottom. You're going to have LeBron, maybe Kawhi, maybe Zion will play. You're going to have good teams in that bottom half, which you like. And anytime you can put the Lakers in the playoffs with Davis and LeBron and Los Angeles, it adds to the juice. So I'm all for the Lakers win as many.
I agree. With that point, I think that the Lakers just overall play better in the playoffs because that's what they are. I think culturally, excuse me, the Lakers have been a playoff winning team. When they get to the playoffs, they tend to play better, and they have always done that. Of course, they haven't been to the playoffs these past few years, but I'm wondering what a playoff 2023 playoff Lakers team would look like. And this is exactly what it is. Young guys who can shoot, playmakers, a superstar forward / center with Anthony Davis, and LeBron James, who he'll give us a random 29-30 with 12 assists, and we win the game just off of that. But also we had D'Angelo Russell, he'll give you 2 or 3 threes a game and a couple nice little layups and jump shots. But then you don't know if he'll get 30. And it's been a while since the Lakers have had that. But I don't think you want to see this Lakers team in the playoffs. And I'm going to say it again just because I don't think the Grizzlies are a playoff team without Ja Morant. I think with Ja Morant, they were barely a first-round winning team, but a second-round exit team, in my opinion.
Many games as you want. I haven't examined the schedule like JJ and Stevie have, so I know it is supposed to be easier. They've done pretty well here. I don't know when LeBron's coming back. What, April 1st? Is that fair to say? So he can play those last 5 games?
They said March 23rd he'll be reevaluated. That doesn't mean he'll play then.
Right.
But so you would assume within...
Give another week.
Somewhere within that 2-week period before the end of the regular season he would play.
But I don't want to step on JJ, Stevie, because he's 100% right. I think Memphis is shot. I'm with them. Injuries, who knows on Morant. They got a lot of guys. They got a lot of issues going on. They could get knocked out early in the first round. I'm with them.
Well, I agree. I agree with JJ 1,000%, and I think it's important to point out. I think it's one thing that you left out, JJ. The injuries, obviously, you mentioned, and You know, you point out their poor play, you point out off-court distractions. The one thing you didn't mention, their mouth. They talk a lot. Okay.
Yeah, this Grizzlies team is very cocky for a team who has never won. They made it to the conference finals just to see like a difference between a finals team who has experience to a very young team with no experience. That was a 4-1 maybe? 4-2. I can't remember, but it really wasn't that close if you really watched like the game. It felt like it was the Warriors were going to win the whole entire time. And you see that. And we're probably going to see it again this playoffs, because I think they're either second or third, the Grizzlies. I need to check later, but and then we're going to see it again. First round exit.
The Dylan Brooks of the world, Ja to some degree, even though obviously he backs it up, you know, along with a plethora of other players. I personally like the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm not talking about what we've seen lately, but I don't mind their mouth. I don't mind them talking, but there needs to be a clear distinction. Talk like somebody who's coming for everybody. Don't talk like you're somebody who's accomplished something. He's doing what he was brought there to do. And especially when you see LeBron, age, attrition kick in, as great and phenomenal as he is, him now being injured. You want Anthony Davis on that court reminding everybody of the star caliber player that he is. And that's exactly what he's been doing. And once again, JJ, we have to give props where it's due to Rob Pelinka, because looking at this roster at the beginning of the season, I never dreamed that the Lakers would be able to transition or transfer just basically, reform that roster to what it is today. Hachimura with Vanderbilt, with Beasley, D'Angelo Russell, and these guys. I mean, I'm just saying that when you look at the Lakers now, if LeBron James comes back and he is what we know he is, and Anthony Davis looks this way, who definitively can't they beat in the Western Conference? That's what makes it interesting. Sure, we'll look at Phoenix to some degree because of KD and Booker and say, yeah. We'll look at Denver because of their depth and Jokic and the crew, and we'll say, yeah. But you can't definitively look at anyone in the Western Conference. If Anthony Davis is on the court playing the way he's playing now, LeBron James returns and looks like we're accustomed to seeing him look, with the other pieces around them playing, you can't summarily dismiss the Los Angeles Lakers. I didn't think they had a shot.
I agree. So let's just go ahead and just go through the list here. So he said from, what do you say, 5 to what? I personally think, and I actually did do a video on this already, talking about like the Western Conference and the standings. In my opinion, there's maybe 3 guaranteed, arguably 4 teams in the West that are playoff bound. I mean, not playoff bound, finals bound. You have the Phoenix Suns. They have a point guard with Chris Paul, and then you saw their game against Dallas. Kevin Durant is just that guy. Hopefully Devin Booker can humble himself, because what happened last year was he pissed off Luka, and then Luka just took over. So hopefully he can humble himself. I think this is going to be a growing. I think the first round is going to be a growing round for a lot of these teams. The Phoenix Suns, they're going to learn how to play playoff basketball with one of the best scorers ever. Dallas, Luka is going to have to adjust by playing with one of the best ball handlers ever, as well as Kyrie having to adjust to the new guy on the block. That's going to be interesting. The Golden State Warriors. I think if not this year or next year, I think this team is going to make a drastic change. Here's why. I don't see Draymond Green staying for 2 more years. I see Jordan Poole. I see him getting a big contract. I see Steph or Klay Thompson making some sort of move in the next 2 years. And I think that the Warriors earned it. I think they have created a dynasty. I'm wondering this year how they will play, but we'll see how that goes. So I already mentioned the Phoenix, Dallas, and the Warriors. And the wild card, in my opinion, is Denver. I don't think they have enough yet. I think they are still too young. They do have the reigning MVP with Jokic, but I don't see them getting that far with Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon. I don't think, and of course he's been playing well, but I don't see many playoff guys on their roster already. Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green, I mean, he's a veteran guy. And Jamal Murray, Jokic, Ish Smith, another older guy there. DeAndre Jordan, Reggie Jackson, I guess. But those aren't successful playoff players like that. Minus Reggie Jackson. So I think it's very interesting. But I'm actually going to end the video here. I think this Grizzlies team is in trouble. They are a first round exit. And I think the Lakers, you don't want to see them in these playoffs. But that's everything. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.